Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nona from thealignlover.com. We're going over the 12 seasonal color palettes for men, and today we are looking at the soft summer. Before we begin, let's just do a brief comparison between soft summer and its adjacent seasons, and if you need background information on this, I will link relevant videos I've made on the subject in the description box. Now compared to true summer, which is a lot more cool and crisp, soft summer is more muted, and compared to soft autumn, soft summer is cooler because summer is the cool season and autumn is the warm season, but these two do share that lovely mutedness. Now remember that even within one subseason, there is a spectrum and color needs to be assessed on a personal level. Taking a closer look at the soft summer man, we can see he has a gentle sense of contrast and this lovely ashy quality that colors his hair, skin, and eyes and his entire image. If you've ever played with the contrast filter in any photo filtering app and you turned it down really, really low, that creates this lovely mutedness. And if it looks good on you, then you might have mutedness as a strong color quality. Now looking at their secondary trait, they lean cool. They tend to look neutral to neutral cool with ashy undertones of rosy beige or blue, and what I've noticed is that their cooler undertones are a lot more easy to spot when they're not tan. Now let's look at a very generic soft summer color palette, and by that I mean this palette was made for the idea of a soft summer and not an individual. The colors are muted, they're moderate in value for the most part with lighter and darker values, and cooler colors like blues, pinks, grays, and icy yellows dominate the palette. Let's look at our first lovely example, Wentworth Miller, and I think these photos do a great job of exemplifying that kind of hazy, misty, soft summer beauty. He looks great in these dusty, stormy, cool colors. It just looks so integrated on him and harmonious. And then on the bottom, he wears this very dark brown, and it just looks quite separate despite the high level of color grading. And I know he's not wearing the flag, but even against his face, we see that bright green and bright yellow look very separate on him. He's too muted and too cool for bright colors. We have Rami Malek, and I think he is a great example of someone who has a cooler olive skin tone. And I'll have to get into olive skin tones in a separate video because it can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes the olive skin acts like blue eyes, and by that I mean, you know how blue eyes kind of reflect the color around them and they seem to change shades? Olive skin tone can act in a similar way, especially under different lighting, especially depending on how much sun you're getting at that point in time. So he is a great example of what I believe to be a cooler olive skin tone. But that being said, these muted, cooler colors look beautiful on him. This really warm, rich olive green, dark color just looks very separate. And then this warm, rich brown color, especially with the stark black and white, looks very separate on him, and it makes his skin tone look off. Alright, next up we have former 80s heartthrob Rob Lowe, and I think these photos do an amazing job of showing you that almost creamy quality to the soft summer beauty, and these dusty colors look beautiful on him. Here we see that dark, heavy blue is just too overwhelming, and then this corally peachy color has nothing in common with his skin tone. It looks separate, and it's kind of making his skin look a little blotchy. Lastly, we have Patrick Dempsey, and his beauty is definitely enhanced by these muted, cool tones, especially this blue and gray combination. He looks muck dreamy. Even though the green is a little bit warmer, it still works. But looking here, we have this bright, bright yellow, and it just overwhelms him, and the black does as well. They're just too heavy, too strong, too wintry. And lastly, for some soft summer hints, if you find that a gray is a little bit too cool, that is definitely a possibility. Even if you're summer, sometimes gray is just too gray. So go for a warmer tone and look at something with some texture, some ribbing to cast some shadows and kind of break it up. And if you're going to wear multi-tone shirts, try to have the better color touching your face, closer to your face, especially if the other color is black, because black can be overwhelming when it's right next to the soft summer face. But I do think that soft summer and true summers can pull off black a little bit more than, say, autumns can. So just keep the black a little bit lower and not super close to the neck. Alright, that was it for today's video. In the next one, we'll go over true summer, and don't forget to check out my services if you need any styling or color help. Bye!